going on, beautiful people? It's Queen Aishah, and thank you so much for joining me for another dope episode of I Know Dope People with Queen Aishah. I'm a little tired, so I'm gonna be a little. I'm a little tired, a little sleepy, so I'm probably gonna be extra silly today. But I want to thank you all for watching in real time or later on time. Remember to like, subscribe, and share. If you see me, you know where to catch me. Facebook Live, YouTube, IG, if we got connected today. All right, we got some really great guests today that's going to give us great information about money. So watch the entire episode. So let's get started real quick with Queen's Quickies. We just celebrated the 55th anniversary celebration of the NAACP Image Awards that took place at the Shrine Auditorium in Los Angeles, California. And my hero, my shero, Queen Latifah, who celebrated her birthday on March 18th, was the host. Okay, and some of the winners, of course, was Usher. Atlanta's own Usher got Entertainer of the Year. He accepted his award from Oprah Winfrey and shared his three-decade journey. The Color Purple dominated with Fantasia getting Outstanding Actress for a Motion Picture. Taraji Henson got Outstanding Supporting Actress and Outstanding Cast Ensemble. And also Coleman Domingo, who also played in the movie, he also got Outstanding Actor for the Netflix movie Rustin. That was an excellent movie if y'all didn't get to check that out. And also Ava DuVernay, she won an NAACP award for Outstanding Directing in a Motion Picture for Origin. If y'all didn't see that, please check out Origin. That's a fantastic movie. Also, Nas is creating a movie, actually a series for the best chess player, African-American chess player. And he was out of, I believe, Brooklyn, New York. So we're going to stay locked for that information. Also, I want to share this. This is one of Katanya's cousins. A black-owned oyster bar has opened up in Baltimore, and the owner's name is Jasmine Norton. So you want to make sure you check her out and support her. She grew up eating oysters, and she just wants to make them more accessible to the African-American community. She had a restaurant before the pandemic. It closed down for a short time, but she is back in them streets. So make sure you check out the oyster bar. You can get bacon barbecue oysters. You can get collard green oysters, Parmesan oysters, crispy cornbread topping oysters. So if you're into oysters, make sure you hit up the Urban Oyster Bar in Baltimore. Katanya may be familiar with it. All right. So that's the wrap for the Queen's Quickies. And I want to do some birthday shout outs. Got a lot of birthdays, a lot of birthdays, a lot of birthdays. First, I want to shout out my niece Zola, who is 12 years old today. Hey, Zola May. Also, my little cousin Bruce Wayne, the actor out of Baltimore, Maryland. His mother is Thea Washington. Happy birthday, Bruce Wayne. Also, happy birthday to Mama Monifa Love, my girlfriend Sonia Bennett, Konika, Queen Latifah, and Erica Badu had a birthday. Shout out to all them Pisces people. All right. Blessings and blessings and blessings to you on your birthday. All right. So the Queen Aishah's inspirational soul food quote. This is from Dr. Paz, who is a guest today on today's show, and she does the Money Move segment every month. And you've heard her say it before on the show, and repeat after me. The mantra inspirational soul food quote is, money is my friend, and I choose to nurture our relationship. As Pastel would say, money is my friend, and I choose to nurture our relationship. Okay? So get that, lock that in. Also, speaking of money, so because we're doing money today, and I wanted to make sure we shared some information with a dope female, Miss Maggie Lena Walker. She was the first African-American and civic leader who broke the traditional. Hold on, let's start that over. Maggie Lena Walker was an African-American entrepreneur and civic leader who broke the traditional gender discrimination laws by becoming the first African-American woman to establish and become the president of a bank in the United States. This was in Richmond, Virginia, because what she found was Black-owned banks would not take Black organizations' money. They wouldn't let them deposit their money. So in 1903, she started her own bank. and it was the St. Luke Penny Savings. Pastel, look this up. St. Luke's Penny Savings Bank in Richmond. And as of 2010, when it was known to be the only oldest African American bank still functioning in the United States. So y'all can look that up. All right. So give it up for Miss Maggie Lena Walker. Okay. Now for our guest today, as I said, we have Dr. Paz on. She is the founder of Black Squirrel Coaching, where she does financial coaching, and she really wants to, well, what she really does is relate to you on whatever level she needs to reach you at so you can get your money, finances in order. Pastel is a personal friend of mine. She's like a sister to me, and we beef on the regular, but it's all a beef in love. And because I did not have her bio out, because I act like I know her for real. So she actually got started in finances as a love, and then she has a few friends, people that need to get their money in order, and she be in your business. What you doing with your money? Why you buying that? Is that necessary? Cancel that shit. And she relates to you in that way. So Pastel really wants to be able to reach people so you can have financial freedom and be able to let your money work for you. So she's going to talk to us today on those of us who are expecting or have received tax returns. Why don't you do something different with it if you're not used to investing, saving? Dr. Paz is going to talk to us about that today. She was also, if you ever checked out her podcast, Grown Ass Woman-ish Shit, she would offer insightful tips on that program as well. And she also hosted industry experts. We also have the tax expert, Miss Hope Brown, on, who I've met through Pastel. And she basically works with individuals and small business owners about taxes. So she's going to really educate you today as far as your taxes, how to get your taxes in order. Do you have them in order? Do you file your taxes? And you can reach out to her personally if you want to become her client and get some advice and a discovery session and all those things. So we're going to jump right into it, ladies. Thank you both for your yes. Quickly, really quickly, I want to give a shout out to my nephew, Luke Kamani Tigger. The new music that you heard, he actually produced that for his auntie. So give it up for T. That's my new intro music. That's my new intro. So I told him, he's like, Auntie, send me the music that you like, and I'm going to create something. So thank you, Tig. I love you. Thank you, ladies. All right, we're going to talk about money. I tried to put on as much green as possible. So we're going to get right into it. Pastel, people are getting returns, received their tax returns already. So what are some of the tips you would give to people that receive their tax returns? They don't know what to do with their money. They're spending it, going shopping, purchasing cars. If you need a car, I understand you should go ahead and get one. What advice would you give to people that are receiving tax returns, especially like really large tax returns, as far as investing in things of that nature?
Yeah, the thing I see the most often, I mean, and I know Hope sees too, people are in debt. Mm-hmm. Serious debt. And they do not make a plan to climb out of debt. Mm-hmm. If you have a tax return, it's time to make a plan. Mm-hmm. It's time to make a plan. So it's time to really get out that budget sheet. I know y'all hate budgets and shit.
Let me tell you something. Pastel got a budget sheet for your ass.
I got a budget sheet
but I'm gonna tell you something. The budgeting makes you really look at your shit.
Yes.
It really makes you look and like, do I need this? Do I need that? I'm not doing this, like for real. So I'm gonna testify that.
You better testify as long as we say it on that goddamn phone. But anywho, if you need a budget sheet, holla at your girl on Instagram. I will gladly send it to you. And if you need coaching, holla at your girl. But it's time to get out of debt. We said years ago, and this is Black women. Black women have a net worth of $5. This was a few years ago. $5. It ain't getting no better because we were in a suit, kind of a recession, right? So people's net worth goes down during a recession. So it's time to get out of debt. Some people are living off their credit cards. That the money from COVID then ran out. Y'all got to go back to work.
Mm-hmm.
It's time to get out of debt.
Mm-hmm.
So the first thing you do is you do a budget. You look, and I'm not talking about budgeting like where you deprive yourself. You
Mm-hmm.
say I'm not gonna get my nails done, I'm not gonna get my hair done anymore. No, what I'm speaking on is the same mantra we just said. Money is my friend, and I choose to nurture our relationship. That means you don't you if you don't know what you're dealing with, there's no way to really get out of that. So the
Mm-hmm.
budget is giving you a clear picture of where you are, and then you can make a plan to move forward.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, when most people do the budget sheet, my budget sheet,
Mm-hmm.
they're like, I'm living above my means.
Mm-hmm.
And you're living above your means when you don't save, when you don't have the ability to save. And if you're in debt, you really, what you saving for? Because it's being negated by your credit, your debt. So that's the one thing I would, if I had to say one thing, that would be it, Queen.
So what would be okay? So some of the things that you see, like when you're going through clients' budget sheets and coaching them, doing discovery sessions and all, what are some of the things that you constantly see as far as that are things that, as a whole, you can see like y'all really don't need to do this or not do it so often? If it's eating out, getting hair and nails done, buying hair, for real, like any like those types of things. What are the things that you constantly
Subscriptions.
see?
Subscriptions are killing. We're a subscription society right now. So
As
we
far as
sign up.
streaming.
We sign up for shit, not
Mm.
just streaming, gym,
Mm,
um, car wash.
Software.
Right.
God.
We are. It's a money grab. It is
mm,
genius for the people who own the businesses because
mhm,
it's built for you to sign up, get the
and
deal
forget.
initially, and forget about it. That's
Mm.
what happens. I mean, it's so. If you're a business person, you want to get people to
Hmm.
subscribe.
Mm.
People are
And
getting
that auto pay, that
and
auto pay.
auto pay because it's a mindless act. I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
get stars for $1 for 2 months, and
Mm-hmm.
then you forget about it. Then it's 19.99.
Yep.
19.99 times 12 months is how much? About $120 you could put in your savings account and got out of debt.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So subscriptions are killing you. You need to take a look at your subscriptions. I am a fan of sharing subscriptions.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Right? If you can. I know Netflix got all funky and, trying to make you add people they got in the household, but the other ones, Stars, HBO, how much TV are you really gonna watch? Do you
No, for
really
sure.
need it?
Yeah.
Really.
Do you really need it, or do you just need a Netflix? Not a Netflix, Fire Stick, where you can
Right.
get everything for free.
Right. And see if you have a like right, because I have a Fire Stick, but I have Prime, but I have Prime because I have it with the membership for
Right.
Amazon and I'm ordering. So that's it's a little different. But if it's a bunch of people living in the same house or within the same block or two, you can order,
Work
have somebody
together.
else order and go pick your stuff up anyway. Because you might live in a neighborhood anyway where you don't want to have stuff delivered there. So it should be going to another address. And
I had one client who had 2 Netflix subscriptions and did not know about it
People forget.
until they did their budget. They
yep.
put
Mhm.
it on one credit card and the other credit card.
Mm-hmm.
What happened?
Yes.
Like, cancel that shit.
But and also Pastel, because we talked about as far as money moves, saving money, being wise with the credit cards, and then what you have to as far as the annual fees and the
Mhm.
interest rates. You could speak to that.
The interest rates. Most people just don't know. They don't know about credit.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Right, Hope? They just
Oh,
don't know about credit.
yeah.
So most people don't know. You should not spend more than 30% of your credit limit.
They don't
You
have any
should not.
guidelines at all that they're living by. They're just
Right.
out there doing it.
They just spending. So they're like, well, why is my credit messed up? Because you have a $500 limit and you spend $499. That's no way to build your credit score. You have to get, if you have a $500 limit, you should not put any more than 150, preferably $50. $50 is golden. So that's 10%. Under 10% is golden. So it's just that people don't know the credit game. And when I tell you it's a game, it's really
yeah,
a game.
100%.
Right.
Yeah.
And Dr. Potts, I'm gonna ask you this. So, speaking of the credit cards and it being what you're saying being a game, speak to the fact as far as like how you pay your credit cards, and also not closing the account but keeping a minimal balance. Speak to those things.
So age of your credit affects it significantly. Once you get over 10 years, you're in that golden range for credit. So that helps you. What else did you ask me about? You said the age.
Paying the, as far as they say pay your credit card off, pay it off, but that doesn't necessarily always help you when you have a zero balance. Is that correct?
Right. Some credit cards, if you bring them all the way down to zero, it doesn't help you. So it they like to see, what they're saying is, I'm giving you my money and I want to see if you're going to be a good steward of this money.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't use it for some credit cards, especially young credit, I'll say young credit, which most people have. I got old credit. Young credit, they want to see you using it and paying it back. I'm serious, I got old credit. I have a card that's 30 years old.
I thought you were 30.
Right, girl.
You came out with credit.
I came out the cooch with a credit card.
Swipe, Mama Bird, swipe.
And for real, that's some real shit too. If you have a kid and your credit and your credit card does not have an age limit on putting them on, most credit cards, they'll take them at about 14 years old. Put them on your credit as soon as, well, let me go back. If you have a good credit card in good standing, put your child on the card.
Help them out.
This will help them so much more than most of the bull that we do for our kids. Because you want them to go out there and be able to get what they need. And we're in a capitalist society. We're in a credit-based society. So,
and they don't have to use the card. Just put them on the credit.
Go ahead,
Hope. I mean, I have two girls. Both of them are on. I mean, I have an American Express I've had for like 32 years, and I put them as secondary users on it. But I keep the cards, and I just kind of like, okay, I know I have this bill every month or that bill, and I just set it up for auto charge on those. But it's a way. Instantly, it impacted what they were able to do. One was able to get her car refinanced, to a better rate. Yes, it was positive for them. And
it is. Yep. I put my nephew on one of my cards, and he couldn't get shit before that. They approved him for a car as soon as they were like, well, damn, you got $20K in credit? What's happening?
That's the gift that we should be giving our children.
Generational.
That's something that's going to work. So a lot of times people are like, well, I can't afford to buy this PlayStation. I can't afford those sneakers. Put them on the credit. That's something that's going to last, because again, they don't have to have access to the card. Just put them there, because as long as you're paying the bill, then it's helping them out as well. So when they need to move out of your house, purchase a car, refinance, all of that stuff is going to help them.
And again, that caveat is put them on a good card in good standing. Do not put your kids on your raggedy credit.
Put them on senior citizen card, right?
It impacts them too. I mean, I just got a call about 2 weeks ago from my daughter, one of them that's on the card. And she said, Mom, when you going to pay that bill? Right. So, I can handle a higher bill. But
she questioned you, did she?
Because her credit score went down a couple of more points versus, my credit score is like 800 something. But, when you in the 60s, a higher balance, it's going to kind of impact them faster than it's going to impact me. And I had to apologize. I was like, oh, let me pay that bill now. I wasn't even thinking about it because, a high balance didn't impact me, but I'm just sharing that to say it will impact you. So just kind of
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Just a sidebar, ain't got nothing to do with kind of what Hope you just said. It's funny because when you be sharing your streaming and a person don't pay their bill, why the person that's on your account gonna call you and tell you to pay your damn? I can't get Netflix. Then you go ahead and update your credit card. No, I know it happened to somebody a few times. I'm like, that's rude as hell. But the person got the same. I think the person got the same access where they can go in and put their credit card in.
Right, put your shit on there.
Pay the bill. That is hilarious and rude as hell too. But anyway, continue. So Hope, so we're going to talk about, because I know that you deal with small businesses. So let's first talk about what is considered a small business.
So a small business in my arena would be any business that's earning under 500K per year.
Okay.
So that could be you making 20 G's per year in that side hustle on up. Those are small business. It really under $1 million. Anything from I just started my business to up to $1 million. So, and that's normally, especially out of COVID, that number grew to a lot of people. They wouldn't even consider themselves in business, but they have some kind of side hustle happening where they're getting money coming in, and the IRS considers them a business. So they don't understand that they got to play by a whole new set of rules, and it gets them in trouble.
So it has nothing to do with how many employees or staff members you have. It's your money.
It's your money. So like, for example, I could be out knitting hats, okay? And people paying me through Stripe. Next thing you know, I'm getting a 1099K. Guess what? The IRS just got notified of that. I got a copy. As far as they're concerned, I'm in business. Therefore, I'm going to be owing federal tax, state tax, if I'm in a state that as it applies to, and also self-employment tax. So, a lot of reasons in our mind coming from the world of W-2, we don't think we're considered a business, but as soon as we start making money and the IRS finds out about it, we're in business. We're a small business owner.
And the thing about it is now, and this has been the last year, that they're saying that if you get a certain amount of money through Zelle, Cash App, you get, what is it, the 1099K too, that you have to report it.
People are getting 1099Ks. They're lowering the threshold, because think about it. So this country, I was reading someplace today, so they get about 42 to 45% of their money as a country from personal income. Okay. So just keep that in mind. The country is almost getting half of the money it needs to run on us as individual taxpayers. Wow. Okay. So anything that they can do to increase that amount of tax that they're getting from us, such as lowering the threshold. I mean, they know all these little side businesses are out here using Cash App, or they know that we're using other tools and not reporting that. But if they can lower the reporting threshold, they know about more of it, and they can enforce tax paid on more of it. And that's what's happening. That's what's happening in a lot of cases.
Yes, and I'm getting Kyoka just text me. She want to know what age should you add your kids to the credit card. I said that it varies by the credit card company, right?
It does.
Okay.
I just talked to one of my
friends.
Some
of them is 0. You have to look it up, but some of them will be 14 years old. Some of them are 16 years old. It depends on the credit card.
Yeah. Okay. I would agree with that.
And again, they don't have to use the card. You just want to.
They will not use the credit card.
What you say, Dr. Paz?
They will not use the credit card ever.
It's been 4 years over here. My kids have never.
You don't get that Pisces.
Never.
You can call me and ask me if I paid the bill because you're trying to buy that house. I'll allow that. But you ain't never seen the card.
Never.
Like, Mommy, is it really just you worry about your credit rate?
Hilarious. She said you'll never see the card. All you need to say
never see the card.
Yeah, they don't even know what color it is. They don't even know what color it is. Don't even worry about that. I'm trying to build up your life right now. Leave it alone.
For everybody's protection.
And to keep them alive. Yes. And let me ask you this. So the tax deadline for individuals is April 15th.
Yes.
Is that the same tax deadline for business owners?
So it depends on so I'm gonna get a little technical here. So it depends on your business type.
Okay.
If you are a sole proprietor or single member LLC,
Mhm.
your deadline is April 15th. But if you are an S corp, your partnership, yours was March 15th.
Okay. So
Unless you
basically,
did an extension.
your
Unless
ass
you
is
did.
5 days late if you ain't doing an extension. What is an extension?
Yeah,
Tell people what an extension
yeah.
is.
You have to file the extension by the due date, but that gives you an extra 6 months to file that return, not pay the tax if it's due. A lot of people get that mixed up.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it's to actually file the paperwork.
Because then the
For
interest rates kick in.
Oh yeah, it's
Mhm.
bad. And it never fails. I always get clients who we do the extension and they never hear me when I say, okay, you want to pay something with the extension because you owe. We just have, we just getting a little extra time to get your paperwork together right. And they don't hear that part. And then normally when we file later on, closer to March 15th for
Mhm.
individuals, they get that little additional bill from the IRS. And they're like,
Mhm.
what is this?
Mhm.
I have to recap it.
Now, I'm gonna tell y'all this, and I said this offline backstage. If you owe the IRS, I don't care if you're an individual or a business, the best thing you can do is communicate. The minute you stop communicating is when you're gonna have issues. So every
Yes.
correspondence they send to you, you need to respond. If you are not sure and clear and need help, that's when you need to hire Hope Brown, a tax expert, or someone like her to assist.
Anyone. Yeah. Don't
Thing.
ignore it.
Do not. Let me tell you something. I don't do taxes. I can barely do math. We're not gonna get into that. Mind your business. What I'm saying is, don't allow the commercials that you hear on the radio and television. Don't get intimidated by that. It's not like the IRS is saying, they know.
Yeah.
I done been there. Communicate.
Mm-hmm.
I would
Communicate.
agree with
And
that.
whatever agreement you make sure you keep your agreement in
I
your.
would agree with that. I mean,
Yeah.
and I'm in that tax world, so I have a lot of colleagues who we worked together throughout the years. The IRS went through a really big recruitment effort in the last couple of years. So I know a lot of people who have gone over to the dark side. Is what we kind of joke and say they're working for the IRS now,
Mhm.
but they're people. But they have quotas to make, and like I
Mhm.
said earlier, with with the country being so dependent on the tax base,
Mhm.
what's that old saying? Nothing, everything is like it's always death and taxes. So it's
Mhm.
something like you're gonna have to pay. And I was talking to a client earlier today. You can't ignore that stuff because at some point they're going to end up garnishing your wages. It's going to be something ugly. Like don't play that, what do you call it, ostrich head in the sand. Like it's if you look away, it's it won't be happening. Oh, it's happening and it will come get you.
Yeah.
So it's just better to just reach out, even if you just work with them directly on your
Mhm.
own,
That's right.
figure out what the payment
Mhm.
arrangements needs to
Mhm.
be. Just do it because
Yeah.
it's not going anywhere. You can't
Mhm.
even if you could declare bankruptcy, you can't get rid of tax debt owed.
Mhm.
It's not
And
going in.
you will pay taxes.
Yeah, you will.
Your ass owe. And call, like, if you got to call IRS, call them first thing in the morning. Like, set
Yeah.
your alarm and call them. And I haven't spoken to an IRS person that was nasty. They may have been stern or just like
Mhm.
but handle your business, y'all.
Well,
Handle.
what about this is like a sidebar, but didn't I hear that there was a little scandal with the IRS where they were
Which one?
auditing black folks more than other people? Was that some old TikTok shit I heard? Let me
I
look
I
don't
don't
it
know.
know.
I
She
just
didn't
know
say
I know a
TikTok.
lot of black people who work for the IRS. So I'm not,
You
coming
don't
from
mean
where
their ass ain't being audited though. They
up.
can get their ass tapped on the shoulder.
you say. I have not heard that, Dr. Paz.
Okay.
So that's funny.
Research.
So
Wait a
Maybe
minute,
it's
y'all.
not
Wait a
true. I
minute.
don't know.
Research. Oh,
I'm
I
just saying
found
we're
it.
being targeted for so many other things. Why would I not be surprised if
You
right.
shouldn't be.
cases?
Because
I
isn't
wouldn't
your
be.
social security number? Because your social security number tells you what state you were born in, and doesn't one of the numbers? I'm not sure. Say what your nationality heritage is.
I
Don't
have
I'm not.
heard that. I have
I know
heard
it's talking about the
arguments on
state.
both sides of the fence with that in my entire life. I've heard so even before I was in the tax industry or bookkeeping or anything else, I've always heard that. But I've heard people deny that rumor, and I've heard people to be like, "No, this is fact."
If it's
So
on
I don't.
TikTok, it's true. I'm sorry.
Okay.
So
Well,
all
so
right.
this is what I found just
All
now. It
right.
says audit rates for Black Americans are 3 to 5 times higher than for other taxpayers.
But why? That's the question.
Mhm.
Is it a race
Girl.
thing or is it just that we doing raggedy stuff? I'm just
So now I
asking.
hope your ass about to get kicked out of the village.
I'm
It's
just
racial
saying,
bias.
I'm on this side and I see the stuff coming past my desk. I'd be like,
I know
really?
your eyes be. I know you got a headache around there.
I'm just like,
Well,
Do you
please
this
don't
drink?
make me
Do you
sign
drink?
this.
Do you drink? You probably drink around this time of the year because they be coming with some shit to me. Some
I'm
can
just
I
like,
can
look
I
at me,
claim my
right?
cat? Can I claim my cat as a defense?
I'm,
What's the
I,
craziest thing you've
you
heard?
talking like borderline tax fraud stuff. Look at me. I can't do jail time. Yeah,
No,
it
for
ain't
real.
gonna end well for me. Okay, it ain't gonna end well for me. So
What is the wildest story situation that you've come across doing taxes for business or individual? Like something they wanted to claim, write off,
I
and you
need to
like,
say
how
this.
do you tell them? How do you say the fuck no? Like, how do you?
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not signing this shit.
yeah,
You
I'm not.
won't catch
I
my
mean,
license over
you
there.
maintain the professionalism, and I've told people point blank, I'm not going to be the tax preparer for you.
I
I'm
know
just
that's
simply
right.
not.
Mm.
And we just call it a day. But I'm gonna be honest with you, it's not so much the crazy stuff that I see as it is the sad stuff I see, the heartbreaking stuff, because taxes can have a really big impact on someone's life, whether it's right or whether it's wrong.
Mhm.
But sometimes people are out here, their situation with their tax situation is jacked up because maybe they don't have the right knowledge of what they're doing. Either they're doing it themselves, they're doing things incorrectly, and then you have that come back. Like, okay, let's take for example, pause. I know you do real estate investment.
Right.
So this year, for some reason, I'm meeting a lot of people who are doing real estate, but they're not taking depreciation, which is the whole reason. That's the biggest write off you can get if you own an investment property. So now it's like, okay, you got years and years of not doing this right that we have to go back and try to correct for you, versus the IRS getting letters about that. I know that doesn't sound like a big deal, but just years and years of people doing the wrong thing. That's the point I'm trying to make.
Mhm.
And then when the shit hits the fan,
Mhm.
I'm on the right show. Let me just say it. When the shit hits the fan, it's just awful. It just blows up,
Mhm.
mess everywhere. So that's what I'm saying. I see more things that are heartbreaking. And that gives me the strength to say no. It's like, no, are you crazy? We're not doing this no more. We got to break.
Mhm.
Talk about breaking chains, breaking cycles. No
Mhm.
more jacked up tax stuff. I can't do it.
And Hope, how did you get into the bookkeeping and tax preparation field?
Yeah. So for me personally, I've just always been a business owner myself for like the
Mhm.
last 25 years, like real estate investment,
Mhm.
owning businesses. And I just started on my own. I started with the tax thing, especially like in school with the
Mhm.
courses. We have like 2 business degrees. So
Mhm.
just going back, that was more so where I got my business sense from. And then I'll be honest with you, I got tired of sitting on this side of the table and other people telling me about my money
Mm.
because I realized that taxes was the biggest bill that I'm paying. It's one of the biggest bills we all pay. Like you
Mhm.
want to be able to know from a tax perspective how to play the game, you
Mhm.
know, because it favors you if think of it as a playing chess. If you know the board, you can make moves all day. But if you
Mhm.
don't know the board, you're at a huge disadvantage.
That's a
And
great point.
yeah, and from a business perspective, this country actually rewards you as a business owner. But
Mhm.
you got to learn how to make the right moves to play what are the rules of engagement, and you learn to use those to your advantage. But from
Mhm.
the tax part, from just learning how to, becoming a tax preparer, becoming registered with the IRS and things, it just grew because I would meet business owners who would have jacked up books. And that's a
Mhm.
whole nother area if business owner, if your books are not right, I cannot say what will happen. It's not going to be good because you're missing out on opportunities to write deductions off. The
Mhm.
IRS, it requires you as a business owner to actually have record keeping. So if they're coming back to audit you for some reason and you can't substantiate, which is the word they use, those expenses, they're probably going to reverse them. So, I just started working with my business owners to teach them
Mhm.
about bookkeeping and how to do it in their businesses. And then they were just like, listen, you got to do it. And it just kind of blew up from there.
Mm. And
Yeah.
what's up with these receipts? So are receipts
Mhm.
important, or like when you're doing a business, like having it organized? Do you prefer people that do spreadsheets
Mhm. Spreadsheets, I mean, if they're doing spreadsheets and they're done like in an organized way, I'll take that.
Gotcha.
The main challenge I have is for people not doing anything.
Mm.
So, one thing that I would say as a tip, and this is just a professional tip, if you have a business, if you're conducting some type of business activity, please have a separate business account and or credit card where everything related to that business is going in and out. Like, don't have, okay, I'm writing something out of this personal check account. I'm writing something out of that personal check account. Get a dedicated bank account for your business or your business activity. So like for my real estate, I have a designated bank account for those. For my bookkeeping business, I have a designated banking account for that and the tax. It just makes it a lot easier, especially if you haven't been doing like more formal bookkeeping. If we got to go back, we got one, maybe a credit card to go to versus we don't have to go to all 10 of your checking accounts,
Mm-hmm.
which can be crazy.
Right.
Because taxes are already going to be stressful enough.
Mm-hmm.
When you're trying to do that in like January, February for a whole 12 months, it's not going to end well. You're going to miss something. I'll say
Mm-hmm.
that.
And let me ask you this: as far as individuals, if you haven't filed your taxes in previous years, and you
Hmm.
can't locate your W-2s, where do
Hmm.
you start, and how do you go back to kind of get back on track with that?
Yeah, so that is actually easier than you think. So a lot of people are not aware, but all of us have tax records with the IRS. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So if I get a new client, we'll normally request, or they can request themselves, you can log right in now, like a wage transcript. So just like
Mm-hmm.
the IRS is sending you that W-2 or you that 1099,
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, the employer is,
Right.
they're
Mm-hmm.
also sending the IRS the same thing. So we can go and pull those documents, those wage records for specific years, and
Mm-hmm.
then we have what we need to do your tax return.
Okay.
That's how we would go about it.
That's good information. Everybody, you can get your W-2 because the IRS know where you at.
Yeah, they know. I mean, the bank sends you those interest, like the interest forms,
Mm-hmm.
the 1099s, the W-2s, the 1099R because you cashed out that 401k plan early. All of those different things. You can go to the IRS for that year and pull that wage transcript, and
Mm-hmm.
it's going to have all those things listed on it. And that's where we would start with,
Mm-hmm.
because what we don't want to do is we don't want to do your tax return for 2020 and you got two W-2s, but really it was like five or six sources reported on that report of income you made that year, and we're understating. So that's why I would pull that from the
Mm-hmm.
IRS myself and
Okay.
just make sure we're good to go.
Now, this is something, and I'm not going to say the organization. So, when you're over a certain age, you have certain organizations that'll do taxes for free.
Yeah.
Okay. So then you have people that go there to get their taxes done for free. That's not necessarily something for a business owner. That's just for an individual. Would that be correct?
I would
Because I
agree
don't,
with that.
yeah, because I
I
don't
would
think they're
agree.
gonna go into detail with your business.
Yeah, unless you get, I mean, I will caveat this and say I do know some professional CPAs and accountants who go back and they volunteer at those type of
Mm-hmm.
outlets.
Mm-hmm.
So you might luck up and get somebody seasoned. But for
Gotcha.
the most part, they're training those people like, maybe I took a tax course or something
Mm-hmm.
through the IRS or whatever, and this is my first year. Like
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't want somebody in their first or second year doing my
Mm-hmm.
business taxes or even my individual taxes with a Schedule C added, and I'm trying to do deductions like home office, the vehicle. They're
Mm-hmm.
not going to know all the rules,
Mm-hmm.
and you could possibly be doing something that's not correct
Mm-hmm.
with that filing.
Now, what about a person that is change, constantly changing their tax preparation person? Because you have some people back in the day, you hear, oh, go to such and such, she be getting you a return. Go to such and such, he gets you a return. Like, are those
I mean, you asked earlier, what's
are
the
those
craziest thing
red
you've seen?
flags? That's like red flags to the IRS. Like if
Well,
you
no.
constantly change
So
it, do you think?
just be careful. That would be the advice I would say with that. Because you asked earlier what's some of the craziest things I've seen. So, like for example, I mean, I'm pretty, like I say, I can't do jail time. I can't go out like that. We gonna do go by the rules. I'm
Mm-hmm.
sorry if things weren't done properly and you not getting your refund back. But like some clients that I've met, newer clients, they'll be like, well, wait a minute, I got such and such back. And I'll look at their return from the prior year and I'll just see all kinds of stuff down in there. Like one guy, he actually had he itemized, which means okay, a schedule A. So we can write off charities and things like that. So I had to sit him down and I was like, all right, so look at this. I said, did you donate $72,000 to your church last year? He almost spit up on me. He was like, what? And I showed him. We walked through it. And I'm like, yeah, you got a refund because you gave $72,000 to the church. So it meant like with his other mortgage interest and stuff, I think he had about 82,000 in itemized deductions, which of course is zeroed out his. I mean, so I'm just saying, be careful for those people who are getting these big refunds back. I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying you might want to get a second opinion. And then they're not signing. That's another red flag.
I see. This is what I'm about to say. It's your responsibility. You have to
be the one left out there.
But this is a setup, Dr. Paz, I'm gonna let you go. This is a setup because you pay someone to do your taxes, but it's still your responsibility to review. But I don't know how to do taxes. I paid somebody and they signed it. They signed that they prepared them, but you're still responsible for those large tax returns. I mean, the refunds. Wow.
Regardless of someone, I mean, of course, we have due diligence rules that we have to follow. Of course we do. We have to sign certain things in order to be licensed with the IRS. But at the end of the day, if I'm not returning your calls and you got to go down to the IRS Monday morning, you are going to kind of be on your own to defend yourself. And that's all we're required to do is for people who are signing the returns as a tax preparer, we just have to make sure that you get a chance to review it. And there are a couple of e-file forms you have to sign, and that's it. So that's another thing too. If you're working with someone who's not sitting down and you're owing, for example, I mean, give you 5 minutes to just go through the return and just kind of help you understand what you're doing. So we try to do like video report outs. If you don't want to meet with me, I'm giving you something to show you what we did in that return. Yeah. But you're ultimately responsible.
So question. I who was this? I forgot the financial lady. But anyway, I write off my son as an employee every year.
Okay.
Up to the whatever the maximum is where you don't have to file taxes.
Yeah.
I do that every year.
Okay.
And from what I know, it's completely legal, but I just want to confirm.
Your ass ain't gonna make it in jelly.
Running that joint.
I get him to cut a little grass or something like that. He does a little something. But
let me pause here and say, so we're talking about everybody out there listening. We're talking about this stuff for informational and entertainment purposes only. I am a tax preparer, but I am not your tax preparer. We have
I ain't nobody damn tax preparer. Okay.
So, the opinions heard on this show are just individuals. So anyway, getting back to your question, Pause. I would ask first.
That was called protect your ass. That was a protect your ass disclaimer. Let me translate. That's right, Brown.
You are allowed
to don't do taxes. I don't.
Did you hear her just now? She said you are allowed to do that. Say it again with your chest. You are allowed. Go ahead. Tell him.
You already knew it's gonna be ignorant.
No, you
said I'll do the chest. Come on, I'm gonna do it.
You are allowed to claim your son as an employee. Like you can do that. Yeah, there are a couple of rules with that. You want to stay under a certain amount, depending on your entity type. It's a way you do it. But yeah, that's smart. That's a lot of things. So now what we're talking about is tax strategy. So, a lot of people will come and they're mad because they're not getting refunds or they don't understand why they're owing taxes. But understand that is one point I want to make. Tax strategy is different than tax preparation or tax planning. Maybe that's a better way to say it. So tax planning is something that smart people are going to be doing probably after the tax season. They're going to be coming back to meet with people like me because right now our brains are just scrambled. I'm just being honest. People won't say it, but I'm telling you for all the other preparers out here. But when people are coming back after the tax season, we're looking at your situation and we're coming up with a strategy that you could be working during the year to really maximize your tax savings, such as employing your children or doing invest certain types of investments or looking at like tax harvesting with different things that you're going to different stocks or whatever you're going to unload this year. We're doing that kind of stuff based on your tax situation. It's very little that we can do after December 31st. So if you're coming to me in February wanting me to save you money for last year, I mean, maybe I can give you some retirement planning, some retirement advice. We can do a couple of things like that. But for the most part, after December 31st is cut off. Definitely if you're a business owner, but individual too. So that would definitely be something I would say is understand the difference between like actual tax preparation versus like the strategies and planning that you should be doing. Two different things, but that's a tax strategy that you're talking about, Dr. Paz.
Okay, one more.
Okay.
So contributing to an IRA, that's another tax shelter. Are there any income limits to when you get that shelter?
Yeah, so for the IRA, I mean, so you got a lot of different stuff here, and we're actually doing tomorrow a session for business owners in our community where we're talking about for business owners the different type of retirement options that we have, like with SEPs or solo 401k plans or whatever. But let's talk first about the individual ones.
Right.
So I always tell people, number one, you want to be maxing out. If you have an employer, at least max out to the point of what they're matching with that tax, with that, whether you're in the government, you're working for a private agency, if they're matching 3-4%, please be putting that much in. Right. That's free money you leaving on the table. All right. Second of all, if you can match that all the way up to whatever the limit is for the year, then do that as well too. That's not based on your AGI. It's no restrictions on that, except normally they raise that up every year. All right. Now, but if you're talking about an external like IRA from your job, you can put up to, what is it, 6,000? Is it
6,500?
I was about to say,
6,500 and 7,500 for.
I thought to say 75.
Okay. Yeah, so those are options. But what I see happen, especially in this area, when you have couples, you have super high earning people in this area sometimes because we're here with the federal government and stuff. It starts.
That's in DC, Maryland, Virginia.
Yes, right. Exactly.
Because we worldwide, I hope.
Okay. Well, no. So, I mean, I have some clients in California and also Florida. Again, these people are starting their businesses and they are booming. They're doing great, but they're above a certain threshold. You're actually not allowed to do what's known as a direct contribution to an IRA Roth. That's what I recommend. They didn't have IRA Roths back in the old days. But if I was coming up now, I would definitely be putting my money in a Roth, okay? Because it's going to grow tax-free for all that time. Think about, when I think now, all this money I have in my retirement account, when I take it out, they're probably going to make more money on me from a tax perspective than, even though I saved throughout the years or whatever. Getting back to that, but there is an income limit on that Roth. Right. So work with someone who can help you understand how to do what's known as the backdoor Roth. We work with a lot of clients who are doing that now, where if you're over that threshold of what you can put in, if that earning threshold of when you can contribute to a Roth, the government still allows you to do that backdoor method where you put it in a non-traditional or a non.
And you switch it over a traditional,
a day or two later. Yeah,
but there's a caveat. You already have to have a Roth in order to do that. So you can't open up if you're making over over $161,000 a year.
Okay.
You can't do a Roth. But if you already have one open, because I do it. If you already have one,
you know the rules.
Yeah, if you already have one open, a Roth account, which I think if you're income eligible for a Roth, just open one, put $50 in it.
Yes.
You think you're gonna make $1 million later? Hallelujah, God bless. But what you can do is
seriously.
Look like a piano.
But what you do is you put it into a traditional IRA and then you just transfer it. And there's no time frame, but you will pay taxes. Say you leave it in that traditional IRA for months. If you make any money on that, you will pay taxes on that. So the caveat to that is you have to have a Roth already in order to be eligible to backdoor.
I would agree with that. So I
don't even
normally
like the word backdoor and money. That don't even sound right.
That shit
in
is
this case,
beautiful.
it's a good thing. It's a
beautiful.
this.
It's some sexy money shit.
Yes.
I'm getting excited.
So those are
money is my friend, and I choose to nurture it.
Yeah, that's the bomb, man. That Roth, whether you're doing it on your job, if your job has a component on it, or of a Roth, you know, where you can, I mean, they have the pre-tax, but you can do the Roth only.
Yes.
I mean, yeah, you don't get the tax advantage now, but if you look at the long run picture, you're going to save money because, like I said, at this age, I mean, I got a couple of more years before I'm pulling the plug on me, right? And I'm going to stop working. But when I start taking that money, all that pre-tax money out, I'm gonna have to pay taxes on it. And then even if I mean, I might be like, oh, I don't need it, I'm gonna leave it in. No, the IRS wants their money. They have what they call required minimum distribution at 72.
Yes.
So even if you don't need it, they're gonna still make you take it out. Yeah, start taking it out at 72. And because they want their money.
They want
money. I can speak on speak on the retirement. A few years. It's been quite some time. I think maybe 10 years since they started offering the Roth retirement fund with employees. So with government, it's the TSP. So you have a Roth component or a traditional. It doesn't matter how much you put in one or the other one. The limits are synergistic. So what if you, I think it's 22.5 last year. So you can't do 22.5 in one and 22.5 in the other. It has to be a total of 22.5 for the year. But one thing that turns people away from the Roth retirement fund is that you're paying the taxes up front. So your check might be a little light in the ass on that side. So I'm saying to you, like Hope is saying, the long-term benefits are worth it because you won't pay taxes on the back end when you're in retirement and somebody's not tapping your income. So that's the reason. So I encourage people to ease into their Roth 401k. So every time they get a raise, your 401k, your TSP, then you switch a little bit more over to the Roth side. Because doing it all at once is it can be painful. Your check might be, hundreds of dollars less, which most people can't afford. So you can ease into it as you get raises. But I'm 100% in agreement with Hope regarding the Roth. It's the best thing out there because you're talking about over time, you're talking about maybe a 500% increase in what you contributed to it. Can you imagine having to pay tax on it? It hurts a lot less.
I know. It's
a lot less in the beginning.
Everybody. And dare I say, be brave enough to talk to a financial advisor, first of all. But even some of these fat retirement accounts that people have saved up, because there are people out there. I see people's money. Like start laddering some of that even over. I'm not saying cash the whole thing in, but start talking to a professional advisor about possibly, you know what, let's just take it slow and cash some of that pre-tax in and put it over into the Roth. And you're going to pay taxes on it now. But again, I was looking at some study earlier. I'm a numbers person, and they were just talking about over the average for people who left that money in that pre-tax and, and then at 62 to 70, taking it out, they were paying more tax on the latter end. So just things to think about. But this is where we were talking about earlier, like the planning, the tax strategy, the tax planning. Sometimes when we're in these lives working our butts off, you don't have time to think about all this stuff. So you got to put yourself around people who can help you strategize and work with your money, like the budget, like Dr. Pauls was talking about, or, investment strategies and things like that. Just do it. Time is, a valuable commodity. You can't even buy time back. So don't waste a year, 5 years, then 10 years where you could be setting yourself up, but we're not in a lot of cases.
Yep.
This is so informative. Great information, ladies. I'm getting text messages about the information. And again, those of you who are watching now, joined a little late, you can always watch in later on time. And also feel free to share it with people. So we are less than a month away from the tax deadline. If you're a business owner, you should have had your taxes done March 15th. That means you 5 days late. Was the 15th on a weekday or a weekend? Because you might have some time.
It's
The 15th
gone.
was last Friday. It was on Friday. It was on Friday.
Don't give them hope.
Right. That's right. I was trying to work with you. Anyway, so April 15th is our deadline for individuals, to get our taxes done. If you've gotten your taxes done already, awesome. If you have some tax money, $5 or more, and you're trying to find out how you should make some money moves with it, then you can reach out to Dr. Paz and she can let you know where to put that $5 and not on all the streaming services. But seriously, y'all, about that streaming part and those subscriptions, really pay attention because I know y'all had some aha moments about that because y'all have stuff that we signed up for Black Friday and you forgot and you getting taxed and you don't know where your money going. The spreadsheet that she talked about, whether you have your own spreadsheet, Dr. Paz will send you her spreadsheet. Find one, because when you put out and see where all your money is going, and one thing I really, really, really like about your spreadsheet, Dr. Paz, is your needs and your wants. That right there, your needs, your wants, and your necessities. Toilet tissue is a necessity. Dental floss, believe it or not, dental floss and a toothbrush is a necessity.
Praise God. Brush your teeth with an electric toothbrush.
You want to say that's the greatest investment they can make? Because dental is expensive. Like for real, y'all.
Yeah, we talked about this. Get you an electric toothbrush. I'm serious.
We got when you posted it, I got 2. And I didn't even know 2 came in the back. So boom, boom, boom. And now it's in my luggage. I didn't even got to take my house toothbrush, electric toothbrush with me. But all of these tips, y'all, really make sure that you're paying attention. Share the information with people. Like, let's empower ourselves and other people with this money thing. Like, we waste a lot of money. We waste a lot of money, but when you do it, gift yourself a spreadsheet. How about that? It is Women's History Month. As a woman and a woman that know a man that needs a spreadsheet, gift everybody. You get a spreadsheet, you get a spreadsheet, and you get a spreadsheet. And go through it and put it down. Start with your income, where all of your money is coming, where all of your money is going, because we be eating our asses off too. We be eating out a lot.
Yep.
So let's I know you be looking at some shit.
Cook some.
Hope, I know you be looking like what, and I know Dr. Paz, and I know you probably had to correct some of your clients, like your ass is greedy and you're doing too much.
This is too much.
Because we doing too much, and I think we picked that up from the pandemic, like eating out a lot. Let's shut all that shit down. So, ladies, I really appreciate you all being on today, just sharing such informative information. And like we said, we don't do your taxes. So please, if you don't believe what we said, if you want to look into it, do your own research. Ask your tax preparer, ask your financial coach, financial advisor. Do your due diligence for yourself as well. Okay. So, how would someone get in contact with you for services, and then Hope share your contact information after as well, and it will be on the screen.
You can contact me at Money Moves with Paz. This moves with a Z at gmail.com, or you can hit me up on Instagram, instant message me. And also, the 202-670-6099. Send me a text. Send me a text to that number that will probably be the best way. Text that number, 202-670-6099. Thank you.
Awesome. And my dope sister friend, Dr. Safia, she had, Safia gonna come with the quotes. Safia put in a KRS-One quote. I'm doing Katania's job. She put up a quote for KRS-One about the money. I can't even see it now.
That's why.
Okay. Learn to separate your needs from your wants.
Yes.
Okay. Toilet tissue is a necessity. Did I say that already? But potato chips not. Potato chips not.
Maybe.
All right, y'all.
Wait, did Hope say how they can get in touch with her?
Go ahead and tell us.
Oh yeah. So hey guys.
It's too much fun.
IG, Tax Minded Bookkeeper, and it's right there on the screen. But then also my number's 202-596-8411, or email is hello@bbizsolution.com. And that's BBIZSOLUTION.com.
Awesome. Thank you. Hope Brown, tax expert, Dr. Paz, Money Moves. You are amazing. Don't say I ain't never give y'all nothing for Women's History Month, because y'all got it right here. Two dope women talk about dope money moves, investments, and getting educated. All right? Okay. Right here on I Know Dope People with Queen Aishah. Remember to like, subscribe, and share. I appreciate you watching in real time and later on time. Peace and blessings.
Hey.
Thank you, Katanya.